All right, welcome back. We are live from the Lighthouse Inn in New London, Connecticut. We are here for the REBAR, YPN REBAR event, which has been such an awesome event. And I'm here today with Alexa Kebalo, who shared some wonderful insights about her background. And Alexa, just so you know, the purpose of my show, normally what I do, this is a e-car event, so this isn't to promote my show. This is just to promote the people that I come on and
I love it.
People that are a part of the group and who have grown, obviously shared their insights. And I apologize for any of the background. Everybody over there is excited about what's happening today.
So much is happening.
There's a lot that's happening.
A lot of energy.
But I like to promote people, promote their business, and have conversations. So many times we go to these events and we have drinks. Oh, what do you do? How do we move on to the next person, right? And the purpose of why I started a podcast, I really wanted to sit down with people. It's the one time that you actually get to sit down with somebody uninterrupted for 45 minutes. How often do you get to do that?
True.
Outside of family, right? Or friends or close friends,
True.
right? You know, so that's why I wanted to start a podcast. But I really loved your story, Alexa, and I appreciate you coming down and sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
I got to ask you. So you said 13 years. What got you? At what point did you decide I'm going to go into real estate? You said 13 years ago at 22 years old. I don't know many 22 years old who want to go into real estate. So
I know.
What got you into that?
Yeah, so I've always grown up with entrepreneurs, my whole family. So just to go back a little bit, I'm an American with Ukrainian roots,
Okay.
Ukrainian and Italian. Yeah. And so my grandfather, Paul, when he came over from Ukraine, like right after World War II, he took a lot of risks and he bought real estate. For example, we're in Connecticut here. A lot of the Ukrainian people stuck to like Newington, New Britain area. He was like, they're like, you're crazy, Paul, because he saw a piece of property in South Windsor, right? Which seemed like so far away. You have to go over the river, for goodness gracious. Yeah. Hello, you don't need a passport, but it seemed so far for them.
Right.
He bought 12 acres of land, and it was my experience of seeing what real estate could do for someone, because his dream was for that land to support our family for generations. And it did, in the sense that his dream was for it to be developed. My father, my uncle developed it. And guess what? My mom was like, I could sell these things. So my father and uncle built the first ever 55 plus condos in the town of South Windsor. And we know how popular those 55 plus condos are now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So fast forward, I was at UConn, always growing up around entrepreneurs, whether it was my mother in real estate, my father, electrician, builder, you know, my grandfather, Papa Joe, who has a printing business still to this day, Real Printers in New Britain. He's 83, God bless him. You know, so I was at UConn and I was studying everything under the sun. And finally, my counselor's like, Alexa, I don't know what to tell you. Just make up your own major already.
Yeah.
I was like, drop the mic. I was like, you should have told me that day one, sir. So I made up my own major called consumer behavior, business, psychology, sociology, and communications.
Wow, that's right. That's in college. So you were at UConn. So you graduated 2011.
2011, UConn.
Okay. So make up your own major happened when in your college?
I think maybe like beginning of junior year, or maybe sophomore year.
What did you think you were gonna do?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I literally just went into school with just the faith that I'm going to study what I want to study, because I love learning. And I figured that if I continue to study what interests me, then I'll figure it out. And that's exactly what happened. So it's like, life isn't just one field of study, right? Like certainly if you're a nurse or this or that. But for me, I'm like, I want business, but I love psychology and I love sociology, because it's like a different way to look at the same concepts. And I love communications. And when you put it together, it's really the consumer's behavior, right? And then in doing that, now anyone at UConn, since I got the major approved, is able to take my curriculum, which I'm like, that's awesome. Paying for it, might as well study what you want to study.
Absolutely. You said something really interesting that when you asked it, I wanted to ask right then, but I knew that I was going to actually come on the show and do this. When you're going through the point of your life where you actually literally lose your voice to the point where you're speaking, but there's nothing audibly coming out, what's going on through your mind during that time?
Honestly, I was just so busy and so task oriented that I was just frustrated, right? I was just so frustrated that I have so much to do, so little time. That was like my mentality, like the scarcity mentality. Yeah. Like, why isn't my voice keeping up? Like, what the heck? I'm like, why? Like, to me, it didn't make sense at the time, because I'm moving 1,000 miles a minute. I wasn't reflecting, right? I wasn't thinking that the amount I was working or how hard I was working was an issue.
You know, it's such I could see myself, or I can see most people like really being frustrated with the process of not being able to speak, and also the mental deterioration that occurs when something like that happens. Did you feel like that at all?
Honestly, no, because I'm so forward. I have so much momentum and so much forward movement. I will tell you though, when I went to every doctor, they're like, we don't know what to tell you. I was like, oh, geez. So if I'm being honest, like I became very spiritual. I gave it to God. I was like, all right, God, let's figure this out. And it made me get creative in the ways that I took care of myself. So like I went to holistic type of health things. And in that moment that I talked about how we're all going around the room saying why we're there. And when I said I'm here because my voice doesn't, and then my voice just stopped working. That was the first moment that I allowed myself to feel the feelings of not frustration, but like almost like sadness. That was the first, and I actually cried because I was like, when you're always working, you're always serving others. I feel like we don't take enough time to help ourselves. Yeah. Right? Like sometimes we serve others to the point that we're dis-serving ourselves and dis-serving our own needs. Right. So in that moment, I was trying to take care of myself. And in that moment, it just really hit me. I was like, yeah, like this is not how I can live my life. So it was a lot of vulnerability.
I could not imagine losing my voice. And I always hear things about people, something happening to people, whether it be losing their voice or, being physically unable to do something in general. And you always hear the aspect of like in their minds they're literally fighting themselves, and I always just wonder, like, I guess I don't say knock on wood, I don't wonder, but I just trying to put myself into someone's shoes like that. Alexa, let me ask you, you've done this now for 13 years, and you've been in real estate, very successful. What have you learned over the last decade?
What I learned is that we each have our own unique set of skills and experiences, and that we all need to honor the way that we want to authentically show up to our jobs and our roles, and also being open-minded to how our careers can evolve. So I've been a top producing realtor forever, but like the way in which I show up has changed. So I'll give you two examples. When I lost my voice, 2019, Realtor Magazine's 30 under 30 in the nation. I've done it, but did you really do it? Are you successful if you can't speak? No. So it forced me to delegate. It forced me to delegate and elevate. I was so in control of everything. It allowed me to like sink into what my highest and best contribution is, which is now I'm on the news. Instead of one-to-one with clients, I'm one to the masses. I'm talking in groups like this, helping other realtors achieve a healthy work-life balance. So giving yourself grace to know that your career does not have to look like everyone else's. I almost had to leave the business. Can you imagine? So it's like, for me, I'm like, all right, I wouldn't have kept going at that speed, at that rate, but I believe the body keeps the score. And I believe that if we ignore, like for me, I kept on ignoring my needs for sleep, water, food, rest, fun. I kept ignoring all those needs. So over time, my body's like, all right, we're trying to show you that you need to slow down, but girl, you're not getting it. So we're going to make it so you slow down. So what I want to tell people is to check in with themselves, to make sure they're authentically showing up in the way that they can serve people. I was so good at what I did as a top producer in that way, but it doesn't mean that that's what I have to do, right? So being open-minded to the ways in which your career evolves. So now mine is like more media, more public speaking, more teaching, leading my team so I'll give you another example. Last year, I actually went through a divorce, and that was a lot. And talking about other things, I had so much pressure on me I put so much pressure on myself, trying to keep my marriage together, my business together, everything I was doing. I actually was paralyzed and I broke my back. I had emergency back surgery. So talk about sometimes when we have so much momentum, we don't pay attention to our needs. So since then, starting last year, I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that the way I'm showing up for my clients is in a role where I'm able to best serve them. And so starting last year, I just focused on doing the media, doing the marketing. So I'm the rainmaker of business to my team. Now my mom is the boots on the ground running around. So it's been the biggest blessing because now I'm like, my mom's like, I'm so grateful. I'm like, I'm so grateful. Like I'm having fun. I'm networking. I'm doing stuff like this. I'm not stressed out. So I'm wearing that hat. My mom's wearing the operations hat.
So we'll wrap up with this, and I want to ask you, because I think it's very important to be able to check in with yourself. You just mentioned being able to check in yourself. At what point can someone realize that they need to check in with themselves, and what do they have to check in on? What are some baseline things that they can check in on?
So I actually asked Jay Shetty this question.
You asked him specifically?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So it was at NAR convention. Was it last year? I forget. Last year or the year before. Maybe two. Anyways, it was either last year or the year before. And anyone can ask a question. I was like, I want to talk to this guy, right? So I literally ran to the mic without even knowing what I was asking. Thank God I did, because there was 4 mics. The room was like 4,000 people, maybe 5,000 people. And I was the last question. I was like, thank God I ran up and I did. So I told him my little story, you know, how I lost my voice, this and that. I said, what are the things that I can be checking in on with myself daily to make sure I don't go down this path anymore? He said, the number one most valuable thing we have is our time. So every day do an audit. Where have I spent my time? Where have I spent my energy? With who? Because for me, for so long, I kept on working, spending my time grinding for the future happiness, for the future enjoyment, but in doing so, I was spending this much time with the people that I valued the most, including myself and taking care of myself. So that was the most important thing. Who am I spending the most time with? Who am I spending the most energy with? And what activities am I spending the most time and energy in? And is that aligned with what I value?
Yeah. I love that. Listen, that is, I follow Jay pretty closely because I've watched,
so good.
He's been on a bunch of podcasts that I follow, Tom Bilyeu and two of the top, like, big self-help. And one of the most recent things that he said is, the environment is a big player in how you are going to move forward. So Alexa, I appreciate it. It's been nice getting to know you. This is super fun. And actually, I'm really looking forward to I'm sure at some point we're going to cross paths now that I'm part of this group. And, we kind of share the same circle. So I'm really appreciative of
I'm so appreciative
you being on and whatnot. So listen, we're going to have, I don't know if you can spot her, Carol Balbuena.
Carol B, my girl.
Carol B, if we can send her out here,
you got it.
and we'll have her on jump on. But thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Of course. All right. Thank you. All right, guys, we are here live from the Lighthouse Inn. We're here for the ECAR, Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. We have a REBAR event, which has been super informative. We've had Alexa Kebalo, who just sat with me here, and she kind of went on her purpose, her things that she's accomplished in her life, and being in the industry for the last 13 years. Andrew Hersey, who spoke about branding. I'm hoping to get Andrew here. He is tied up right now, but I'm hoping to get Andrew here in a little bit. And coming up here next, we're going to have Carol Balbuena. I'm so excited. I've been so excited to come on and have her on. She's stepping up here to the seat. Carol has done so much.
What up, yo?
She's done so much for a community that means so much to me. For someone who didn't grow up, and you can put the headphones on if you want. If you want to, you don't have to. But if you want to hear yourself, you can. But Carol has done a ton of different things for the community that I grew up in. This community that we're in, New London, Connecticut. I was born and raised here. You were not. You came here at, I believe, was it age 11 or 15, Carol?
How could you remember? Holy crap. I was 15 years old when I came to the United States.
Yeah. So I obviously have known you for the last couple of years, and I've really paid attention to what you do for community. So just so you know, Carol is an affiliate member for the Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. She owns BR Insurance Group in New London down on Bank Street. And she does miraculous work. She doesn't just focus on, it's very unique, and I'm very, again, super impressed in the work that she does. But it's not just about running an insurance business. It's just about the greater good and the development of a community and development of professionals and people that she brings onto her team. She really focuses on making sure that she leads them with intent. And I'm just curious, Carol, where does that passion come from?
It comes from my grandparents. So when I was growing up, I grew up in Peru, and I had 2 grandparents. I don't know if you ever heard of Poor Dad, Rich Dad.
Robert Kiyosaki?
But I had that similar situation, and I saw the best of both worlds. And right now, I'm actually the chair of the affiliates committee.
You are the chair.
Right? Found it, you're there too. Right. So that's where all of my inspiration comes from, and also from seeing them work, from seeing their struggles, overcoming struggles, how they treat people, how they treat their staff. And just because someone also believed in me, I want to make sure that every person in my team not only understands to believe in themselves first, but also they understand the leadership, stronger beliefs in them, and invest in them in many ways.
You have a team that you
Yes.
have now. When you started the insurance industry 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago?
No, I started like a long time.
You started that? You started a long time.
Oh, well, yeah. So the brokerage itself, BR Insurance Group, has been open for 2 years.
Okay. So maybe it's because that's
2022.
Okay, so maybe my perception based off how long I've known you. Where did you see it going when you first started? Because insurance is different now, completely different what it used to be 7 years ago.
When I first started, or like when I first started the brokerage?
Started the brokerage.
I saw it going in the direction, like the main mission, it's being able to help families to team homeownership. Mm-hmm. Being able to help a business owner understand how to do business, sending them to networking events. So the main mission was through connecting people through insurance. It wasn't so much so that I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I love liability, bodily injury, let's go, collision. No, it was more so like, how can we help and improve people's life better? Because at the brokerage, we believe to work hard, play hard, and give back.
Yes.
And I think that everything is cyclical, and business starts like from the base of your community. So if your community does good, your business eventually will do good. Because imagine that you are calling your insurance brokerage and you are, 10 years old, and you're listening to your mom actually have a conversation with your agent, as opposed to just going numbers and so on. That kid is going to grow with the mindset of, oh, I need to ask questions. That's what a lot of people don't do. So that's how it all started.
So I obviously I aspire to do a actual full episode with you that's outside of the 10 minutes or so that we're going to do here, because I'm very impressed in what you've done and accomplished. One of the things that I came across was a New London The Day article about yourself. And in reading in that article, I never knew this.
What is it? Wait, tell me the article.
It was in 2000, either in 2018 or 2020. I can't remember, but it was basically you in what you do for the community of New London. And they highlight, and if it's okay to share, but they do highlight that there was a point in the time that you were homeless.
Oh, yes. I love that. I love that phase of my life.
What impact does that have on you now, and how are you able to just kind of move forward? That's a very hard thing as a 15-year-old or 18-year-old.
I was 18 when I became homeless.
But even still, you've only been in this country for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So much.
Oh my God,
so much different. Things are different here than where you were.
And I also had no family.
You had no family. What's that like for you? What's going on in your mind at that age? Are you, I'm going to push through this, or is it I got to figure a way out, and you're able to look back and be like, oh my God, I pushed through that, and now I'm going to leverage that? So
when I was going through that, all I kept saying to myself that pain is temporary. I'm going to be good.
Where's that come from? Where's that mentality?
Mentality comes from my grandparents. So that mentality comes from, if I was doing sports or if I was not in the top 3 in the class, they'll be like, that's temporary. You can do better. Don't cry about it. It's not going to fix anything. It's not your identity. Sure. So even though I was homeless, it's not part of that doesn't convey my identity.
Define you, yeah.
It does not identify me. I'm Carol B. I'm always going to be Carol B. And that's what I'm proud of. Yeah. And even though homeless is a huge part of my life, it allows me to understand people in different levels. Because the best part of being homeless and having $0 and literally freedom and zero liability is knowing that you got out from that. And at any moment you can go back to that. But you know that you can easily say, you know what? Like I was telling my team the other day, if I were to be homeless again and I had $0 in my name, I would recycle.
It's amazing.
And then I would buy more water, or like cut up like pineapple and sell it on the corner. I do not give a crap. I would do it.
That's so
and to me, that's so valuable, and it's so valuable to look back on my life and looking at it as being grateful, as opposed to being like angry.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing angry to be about.
Right. Well, listen, I love that so much. I love your, I think the gentleman who said it when we were at the DEI meeting, we had the lunch, we had the roundtable lunch. He said it perfectly. You have a level of enthusiasm and charisma than anyone I've ever met. I appreciate what you do again for this community that I grew up in. I'm very appreciative to this community that you really, I think you call home. This is your, obviously you have your home in Peru, but, seeing what you do for people, I think you donated over 50 turkeys during Thanksgiving, right?
What is that?
Was it over 50 turkeys during Thanksgiving?
It was more.
It was more than that, right?
Because the turkeys were for the family. We did 100 turkeys for family.
100 turkeys.
And 100 for like single people.
That's amazing.
But no, we did hams for single people.
Oh, hands. Listen.
Yeah.
It just
donated over 700 backpacks, over 180 free haircuts. Just every day. It's like, I just think that I can either sit here and complain every single day.
Right.
And have zero control over anything.
Right.
Or I could actually take some sort of control and do something with it.
I love that so much. So listen, Carol Balbuena, thank you very much. We're gonna do a full episode. We're gonna go into the nitty gritty of it. But thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. And again, like I said, everything that you do. If we can get, if you can either flag down Sean or David Mansulla, whoever's in your line of stuff, you can flag them down and bring them down this way. That'd be great. But thank you again.
Sounds like a plan. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ColeCarolV. I love when you follow me. Can't wait to follow you back.
We are live from the Lighthouse in New London REBAR event. This is a fun event, a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspirational people. There's some good people here that they do a lot of great things. Again, I'm just incredibly thankful to be a part of this. I think my next guest here is David Mansulla from Suntastic Solutions. He's here. David, come on over. Come join me. We can go into who you are, what you do. Again, I am super thankful for everybody here. David, have a seat. Have a seat, my friend. Yeah, please have a seat. Oh yeah, you can. Listen, however you choose.
Be like,
feel free to put the headsets on if you want, David. You can hear yourself.
ringers off.
Yeah. Please listen. David Mansulla with Suntastic Solutions.
Huh?
We're live.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We are live. Oh, we found the purse. Alexa Kebalo got her purse. Brought it back. We are live on Facebook, David. We're getting situated over here. And I wanted to bring you on because I think that you're one of the gentlemen in our group and as the affiliate that provides value from a standpoint of conserving energy or minimizing costs, right? That's ultimately what it comes down to. David, let me ask you quickly, how long have you been in the business of solar?
So I'm coming into my 5th year now, and but to really answer that question, like so people would understand, most people who you know in solar are actually just solar salespeople. Mm-hmm. So I am a solar designer for SunPower. And there's a big difference because I come into what we call a discovery call with each client.
Sure.
And then I can find out what's important to them, and then I can present solutions.
Sure.
So most people are getting like a cookie cutter thing.
Yeah.
It's very different what I do.
What's your background in?
So my background is in sales and customer service.
Okay.
I was had a front row seat for the complete collapse of pretty much retail.
Okay.
And Amazon took over everything.
Right.
So I looked around and I said, well, where can I use my customer service and sales experience?
And solar was the game. What do you love most about it?
What I love most about it is, especially when I'm presenting to a family where I see little kids running around, and I know that they're going to be there for the next 15, 20 years. By them going solar, they're going to be able to take those kids to Disney World like 10, 15 times. Yeah. And that's absolutely huge. Or do whatever they want with the money instead of just dumping every month.
There's a lot of I live in a neighborhood where it's pretty solar friendly, if you will, from a marketing or I guess a sales standpoint. People will knock on your door, and I mean, I got people knocking on my door weekly about, you get this company, that company. Do you want the, and it's so funny because I know initially I'm in sales, you're in sales, but I know initially they're like, oh yeah, listen, I talked to so and so down the road. Do you know them? It's like, no, I don't know them. I know that you're trying to sell me on something, but why solar right now? And is this the end game for being able to cut costs from that standpoint?
Right now it is, and just add to that people are lucky when they can go solar.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people I can't help.
Sure.
I can't help people who have NPU, in Groton and things like that. So there's pockets right around us with people who I can't help. But so right now they can save a lot of money.
Yeah. So you design the actual panels that go on my roof?
So so what happens is I go ahead and input all the information, how many kilowatt hours a year you use, and then I can see your house and I can start to place the panels.
Yeah.
So sometimes, especially like we're here right now amongst a lot of realtors, and they'll say they don't want it to affect, like the curb appeal.
Mm-hmm. That's the same thing that I've heard. Yeah.
Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and design the system so that they're on the back, or I'll come up with different ideas for them, so it can change the whole thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise somebody's coming there and saying, "Here, this is what it is. Take it or leave it," and you should take it right now because it's going away.
How different is that approach versus the approach of some of the other companies that are like saying, hey, this is what you have to do, this is how much it's going to cost, and you can't do anything else?
Right, and then they pair that with a high pressure tactic. And whereas what I do is I'll show them, instead of one, I might show them 6 different options, and then I'll pair it with different financial options for them to go forward. And then I'll just say, all right, so now you know what I got.
Yeah.
If you're interested, let me know. Because it's, it could be anywhere from a $20,000 system on up. I've sold systems for over $100,000. I would want to sleep on that over at night. And my clients really appreciate that I get up and I walk away from the table. I
love that. Listen, David Mansulla from Suntastic Solutions. I think that's a magnificent model. I really do. My wife and I sat down with someone about a year ago or so, the last couple of years, and we kind of felt that pressure where it's like, oh, this is the only way to do it. Like, we don't want it to look on this side because it is going to mess up that curb appeal. So I think what you bring to the table from that standpoint satisfies the want of the aesthetics of the home and also the need to reduce costs. So thank you very much, David, for joining me. We're going to do another one of these in full. I think that's something that I think it's valuable that everybody can take from. So thank you very much for joining me. So if we can flag down either Sean Siegel or Andrew Hersey or Amanda Polansky, whoever is most available, grab one of them, let them know they are next up in the chair. That'd be great.
My pleasure.
Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Listen, we are here live from Lighthouse Inn, London, Connecticut. We are at the REBAR event for the Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. It's been such a fun event full of knowledge and wisdom, full of networking. A lot of great people here. It's just been one of those events that you want to be a part of. We'll do it again next year. Again, it's a resource information, tons of info. Alexa Kebalo, Andrew Hersey, myself, I spoke on podcasting and my journey. Andrew Hersey spoke about branding and the different things that come, that you can do with branding and really sticking out. And Alexa Kebalo talking about her journey in wellness. I think what's super crazy about Alexa is that she actually lost her voice. Losing your voice is got to be something that in your mind you're like, what the F? Like, why is this happening to me? I couldn't imagine losing my voice. And for someone like Alexa who just sat here and said, listen, I just kind of powered through it. Kudos to her. And whatnot. So listen, we're waiting here for the next guest, either Sean Siegel, Andrew Hersey, or Amanda Polansky. Oh, so he's doing Andrew Hersey. It seems like Andrew Hersey is doing the round tables. Let's get Sean Siegel down here. Come on, Sean. No, Sean, you're coming down. We got Sean here coming down. Sean is rolling on in. Oh, Amanda's in. Oh, Amanda's in. And then all right, Amanda, whoever's first. I don't care. Amanda Polansky, new homeowner. Oh my gosh. You don't have to wear these if you don't want to, but I bring them to.
Makes it more official.
It does make it really more official. You can hear everything. Oh, it's good.
Oh.
It's good. Yeah. You get that mic in front of you a little bit so you can make sure that your voice pops. Amanda, thank you very much for joining me. I think that you and Kelly were kind of the last year. You guys had an idea of getting this REBAR back in going. What was the why behind getting that back going?
So when we went to YPN Advance, we heard a lot of other YPNs from across the country talk about how they have these awesome rebar camps, and some of them are huge. Hundreds of people go.
Really?
So we were like, that sounds really interesting, and it sounds like a lot of people learn a lot, and there's tons of takeaways. So we're like, let's try to do it here in our own backyard. And we also wanted to take advantage of having some of the NAR advisory board members be able to travel here. So we did that 2 years ago, just as a networking event. We kind of had it as a panel where they kind of were talking at everyone, and we're like, let's try to get more engagement going and try to get, let's talk about things people want to talk about, not just topics that we decide that they would want to talk about.
I was sitting there and I was jotting down some notes when Andrew was speaking, and I'm like, this could be bigger. We can make this bigger.
Absolutely.
How do we make it bigger? I don't know, but I want to be a part of it, however that is. And because this is such a good event for obviously the networking piece, I think that there could be more value add to it. This is my second year part of REBAR, and last year I inadvertently moderated a table that I didn't know I was moderating until a couple weeks ago. Like, oh yeah, Paul moderated the ChatGPT table. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, but
what?
Yeah. It's like I think that this can be such a good event. I think the challenge is how do we get people to see value? Do you have any insights going to some of the other events that were 100 plus people as to like how they were able to grow it to where we are in our segment of the country?
Yeah, so I haven't attended those personally.
Okay.
I've just heard about them.
Yeah.
I know Molly Bruno though has, so maybe we can tap into her.
Yeah, for sure.
See if she's
Definitely.
got some ideas.
Definitely.
But I think, one of the big topics we talked about today, right, was marketing and a marketing plan and personal branding. Right. But how do we market this event better? Because I think that's where we're falling a little bit short, and people maybe don't understand what it is, or maybe we're not doing enough personal touches to get people excited about it and to want to come.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think every year we get some new people in and they enjoy it, that maybe they can go tell people at their offices and other people they work with in the industry and bring them in.
So you've been in the industry now, was it 3-4 years?
3.5.
3.5, yeah, 3-4 years. Okay. What do you love most about this industry, the real estate industry? Being able to clock in and clock out, which I don't think by definition you guys ever do. I do. I can clock in and clock out. Like I can. But I'm very appreciative to the work that you all do. What do you appreciate most about it?
The connections with just some of the people you get to meet, whether it's people that you're working with, working with in the industry, or clients that you're serving. There's so many people I would have never met that, I did because of what I do. So I love, all the connections and growing relationships. And even these networking events are amazing for that too, to get to know somebody like you. And, then when the time came for me to buy my house, I was able to call you, and because I knew you because of these events, and you were incredibly helpful. So I owe you a 5-star Google review. I would give you more than 5 if I could.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah.
You got a lot going on right now, so I don't expect it to happen overnight. Yeah. Just closing on your house and all that stuff. But before we go, because, I think we're running out of time in general, what's the most valuable thing you've learned in your career, your 3-year career or 3.5-year career in real estate?
Oh, I think I'm learning something new every day. Every single scenario is different. So I think that it's just the more and more experience you get, you can navigate things better, and just kind of not taking things personal, and being able to help people make things easier instead of, adding, you take the stress on for others.
You're a therapist, right?
Yes, exactly. So I've never been a therapist, so learning how to be a therapist, and I've had many clients tell me that I'm their therapist. I'm like, oh geez, I don't even have a therapist of my own, which I should probably do. Just to unload all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just scratching the surface. There's still a lot to learn, and I'm excited.
What's your background? So where'd you come from?
So I used to, I worked in the fashion industry in New York. So I was a buyer.
Yeah.
Most recently at Michael Kors, I did small leather goods, but I did lots of different categories for their outlet division. So I did shoes, like apparel, watches, like all licensee sunglasses. I did pretty much everything but the handbags themselves.
Yeah.
So
why real estate then? That's a transition.
It's a big transition. So I had always been thinking about real estate, but I was never going to quit my day job to go for it. I knew I always wanted to eventually leave New York, as heartbreaking as that is, but to get back to my Connecticut roots and start a family. So I knew that was like, down the road at my 5 to 10 year goal. And then, COVID hit. I ended up getting laid off, and I was already thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do my principles and practices course at nighttime since I was working remotely.
Sure.
And then that day I got laid off. I was like, that's it. I'm not even looking for another job. I'm going for it. Like jumping 2 feet in. Yep. Full force ahead. And that's what I did. And
how do you feel about it now? When that happened, how do you feel about it now? Like, are you able to look back like, I'm glad I did this?
Oh, 100%. I knew that moment. I was like, this is like a blessing in disguise. This is my time, my moment to make the change. Sure. It's like, I don't have kids yet. So my husband and I got rid of our apartment. We left New York. We moved up here, and we thought that it'd be a temporary thing. And we just absolutely fell in love with the community, the people. And we're like, we got to buy a house here.
You guys are both from that kind of area, generally.
Yep, we grew up Fairfield County. We went to high school together.
Oh, you did go to high school together? I didn't know that.
Not high school sweethearts. We started dating after college.
We each other in high school.
Yes. Yeah. We dated for 2 weeks when we were 16. Nice. Bad first date. Jumped in via text message. I still have to hear about it, but we probably wouldn't be together right now.
Listen, shout out to Adam. And what I love most about Adam is that he and I share the same fandom of the New York Yankees. I believe your dog is named Yogi. Right?
Yogi Jeets, because he wanted to name him Jeter, and I said that is way too basic and obvious. So then his middle name just became Jeets. Oh, so when he gets into trouble, it's Yogi Jeets.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then I got to finally meet him at the awards ceremony 2 weeks ago now. So this is a lot of fun. Thank you. I'm glad that we were able to do this. Congratulations to you and everything that you have going on, and my hope for you and your husband and now your family, that's going to that you guys have the absolutely best time ever. Good luck along the way. And if we can have Sean Siegel, Sean's been ducking me. I've been calling him. You see, he just sent you first.
Yeah.
Have Sean come here, and then hopefully I can end with Andrew. If not, we'll wrap it up here. But or anybody else that comes, I think I got I still got. What time? I think we're here till 4. So I got I'm gonna say like 15 minutes. Let's send Sean Siegel up here.
Oh yeah, I'll get him.
And thank you very much for sitting in for 3 minutes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks. Yep. That was Amanda Polansky. She is wrapping up here. We're trying to invite Sean Siegel. Sean Siegel, he's the YPN chair, the Young Professionals Network chair. Here he comes. He's walking on down over here. Very excited to have him. He's acting all nonchalant. Puts the phone in his suit jacket. Sean, how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. You can pop these on if you want to. You don't have to.
No, I can hear you good.
You can hear me good. This is if you wanted to hear yourself. But Sean, you have been doing this now. I think when you raised your hand, it was between 2 to 5 years. How many years have you been doing real estate?
Around 5 years.
Around 5 years. Okay. What did you do before, Sean?
I was in the restaurant industry.
You in the restaurant industry?
Yeah.
Okay. Where?
Different restaurants in Rhode Island. Yeah. I worked in variety restaurants. Yep. I was, sous chef a couple times.
Sous chef.
A lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
And one you just get like a good work ethic from restaurants. I think everybody should have to work in a restaurant for at least a little bit because it's hard work, a lot of hours, and it does translate well to real estate industry as well as a lot of industries because you gotta get stuff done right away.
What do you? So when you think about you're the chair of YPN, the Young Professionals Network of ECAR. You are the president-elect of Women's Council of Realtors, Eastern Connecticut, right? Eastern Connecticut. What's that mean to you? You know, you being in this industry for 5 years, what's that actually mean to you, someone who has been putting in the work for 5 years, and to get to be able to hold these seats that are actually pretty notable seats? They respect you for what you do, the work that you do. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, so it's really been my involvement in both those organizations. It's been tremendously helpful for my business because it puts you out there, but also just being around a lot of other professionals in the same industry, you see a lot of different viewpoints. So you see, some ways other people are doing things that maybe are different from what you would have thought of. And it's also just great. We do a lot of we do some charitable stuff like that. So it's great to just be in organizations to kind of give back to the community.
And you were just announced, or you were just nominated for the Young Professional of the Year, right?
Yes.
For ECAR. That's an awesome accolade. Congratulations for that. When you started in 2000, so 5 years ago, so 2019, did you see yourself being that where you are now?
No, I didn't. And I wouldn't have thought that I would like this sort of thing. So for anybody who, is kind of on the fence, I would never have, it's sort of outside my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have thought that I would have liked this kind of stuff. And
what do you like most about it, Sean?
I like meeting different people and just being able, the networking thing is mm-hmm. great. Kind of like what I said before.
What did you want to do beforehand? You were working in the restaurants and everything, but what was it did you go to college?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
URI.
You went to URI. What did you want to do out of college?
Engineering.
You wanted to do engineering?
Yep.
Very
Very different, right?
Yeah, it's very different.
Night and day.
It's like Keith Turner. Keith Turner that's what he went to school for. Yeah. And so you decided, real estate, I'm going to try it out, and it's been fit. Where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Just kind of the pavement.
Yeah, hopefully growing my business. Same kind of thing. I love the business. I love the opportunity to meet all kind of different people, different walks of life. It's different every day.
Yeah. I ask this question a lot, and I really like to ask it. And I'll ask you. Normally I ask, what did you learn most in your career? But I'm going to ask you, what did you learn most about yourself over these last 5 years?
Kind of back to like something I've heard you touch on a little bit, that, going out of your comfort zone sometimes, there's, the biggest fruit is not, in your patch, it's maybe over there.
Yeah, I love that. So listen, man, thank you very much for sitting in on here. I think we got a few minutes left. I think it's pretty open. I might be shutting down here in a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if Andrew looks like he's all tied up. So if you want to just let everybody know, if anyone wants to come back here and join me, I'm gonna stay open for about 3 to 4 minutes. If not, I'm gonna shut it down.
Cool.
But Sean, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for sitting in here with me, man. Thank you very much. Listen, we are live here from the Lighthouse Inn in New London, Connecticut. It is the ECAR REBAR event. It's been such a fun event. I've learned a lot, and I'm hoping that a lot of people learned from me. I had the opportunity to do a podcast roundtable, and that during the podcast roundtable, I had the opportunity to just kind of share, my journey and what it's meant for me. Oh, Kim. We have Kim. This is Kim Tondreau is coming and joining us. This is going to be a good one. I cannot wait. Kim, thank you so much. I'm so excited, Kim. Hi. Oh, Kelly's joining us too. Kim and Kelly. Listen, just make sure we speak into the mic a little bit. Here, I'll put this here. Just speak into it. Kim and Kelly, This has been such a fun event. I think that I was just telling, I said this to Amanda just a second ago. I think that there's so much more potential for this event. We have the ability to grow this event and grow it in a way that people who are going to want to come to this event. Not that the people are here obviously wanting to come, but this is going to be an event. I have future thoughts of what this could be. But maybe one day. But listen, I have Kim Tondreau, right? Is that how you pronounce your last name? Tondreau and Kelly Lucas. Kelly Lucas was on my show. Episode 4, I stopped numbering, but you are episode 4 of the show. What overall perspectives and thoughts of this event so far?
I think it's been fantastic. I think people are still kind of trying to figure out what the rebar is all about and to continue to rotate through the tables and continue that flow of conversation. I think people are still looking for that one moderator to kind of push the conversation and not coming into their own to step up and be like, I have experience. I can talk on this. I can help propel this conversation forward, which is what we're looking for,
right,
to really bring out the leadership and the knowledge in our local community.
Sure.
So I think you're right. The more we continue to do these, the better it's going to be.
And I think that next year, when we start planning this event, I think because we obviously have it in the calendar in like June or for June, but we start that in like January. I think we start promoting it early, and it doesn't have to be heavy. Like the last 2 weeks, we talked about it a lot, specifically with the live show with myself, you, Molly, and Kyle, and then the week before myself, Molly, and Andrew Hersey. But I think we could do some sort of like once a month kind of thing, and I think we could just even try to figure out how we can get everybody's ideas out there. I think that would be the main, like the big purpose of it. Everybody's ideas, good, bad, and different. Let's put it in a bucket and start pulling things out and seeing what works. I mean, that's how we grow. And this is a bit fun. But Kim, what do you think? What do we got? What do you think? What have you taken? Well, you sat with me for a while during the podcast roundtable. You've been a part of the group. You're a major contributor to the group. You sponsor every damn event. I think your name is on everything. You do. You are. Listen, they call those
Money talks.
You're literally just about to say you're a silent killer. You are a silent killer, and you do very good work. You take pride in what you do. You're very meticulous. You're very passionate about what you do. You're passionate about your family, and you're kind of no nonsense. And that's okay. You call that boring. I call that motivational, inspirational. And I think that a lot of people can learn from you. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are on what eCar has done for you and your business.
I guess it's made me come out of my shell. I don't know, because we started with Core Plus. It was more or less inside sales because we're a lender. We do checking accounts, savings accounts. We do your car loans, everything else. So we wanted to kind of branch out and be more out in the community.
Sure.
And I think eCar has helped with that. YP for sure. Meeting everybody and kind of just doing community activities. So I think, I don't know, help me meet people.
Well.
Help us show that Core Plus exists, not just inside, You guys
make us you guys kind of just put the foot down. During the award ceremony, you're like, yeah, open up a checking account, get a free Stanley. And it's like,
yes,
it's like, damn, man. You're like, what? Take my money now?
Checking account to get a Stanley?
Yes. I mean, take all my money. Yeah, seriously. But that's what I mean. It's it's a silent killer, but you do really well with it. I feel like it's very impressive because there's different dynamics, different personalities. And specifically in your particular role, we got 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 different players in your specific role, and all 6 of you or 5 of you, however many of them that I have met, are different personalities, and some of them are more dynamic than others. But you crush it without even just making note of you. Very humble is basically what I'm saying.
Really?
I think so. That's my opinion. So I'm very appreciative of this event. I'm very appreciative of taking couple minutes of your time to step out of your comfort zone a little bit, because I know cameras on you. This is live. There's been people checking in and checking out. There's no camera. Like I said, when we talked last time, it's like, remember from Big Daddy, you just got to put those sunglasses on, and then you're invisible. Then you're just invisible. So, I think I'm gonna wrap out. It seems like Andrew's a little tied up here. I was hoping to get Andrew on here for a few minutes, if he can. If not, if he's tied up, then that's fine. But I think that'd be a good way to close out. If not, yeah. So.
Remarks. I don't know.
No closer remarks. It's okay. Listen, Kim Tondreau, Core Plus Federal Credit Union mortgage lender. Go see her, and go get yourself a Stanley. I think you guys have enough Stanleys to supply the world. Apparently, it seems like yes. It's. I was very excited to hear that, because my wife loves Stanley. Who doesn't love Stanley these days? But it's a nice promotional. So what do? You just go in and you do set up direct deposit? Does the Stanley show up in my house? Or do I get the Stanley?
You get it right down there.
Wow, what if I set up 2 accounts? Did I get 2?
If I get 2 of your accounts, I'll give you.
Oh, I love that. But thank you very much, and you've been very good to me. Thinking about me. Hey, can you take a peek at this? Can you take a peek at that? So I'm very thankful for that. So, I think other than that, I think Andrew is going to be joining us. Andrew Hersey, our speaker. Hope he's joining us here. We'll see.
He's walking closer.
He is walking closer. We're live from the Lighthouse in New London, Connecticut, for the Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors YPN Realtor event. It's been such a fun event. Again, I've learned a lot. I'm sure people here have learned a lot. And the best thing about these events is that it's just networking, and I'm a big believer of the meeting of the minds, and being able to just collaborate and just grow. Always be learning. I said this on my episode, or it wasn't an episode, it was a promotion of the show. Always be learning isn't just about learning about about the business that you're in and the work that you do. It's learning about yourself. And here we have the man himself, Andrew Hersey. Andrew, man, brother, man, I'm so excited. I jot down notes, man. When you were speaking, I have a whole full page ready. Here we go. We have a whole full page of notes that I was jotting down, because I'm really excited to just have you. So thank you very much for coming and doing this and shedding your insights. We had the opportunity to meet a little over a week ago, and we did the virtual promotion for the show. And I was really just getting here to sit with you. I'm just curious. So refresh my memory so I can lead into my questions, Andrew. How long have you been in the real estate business?
9.5 years.
9.5 years.
Started on my birthday in 2015,
which was January, what I learned today.
January. Everybody.
January. And what you transition out of, and why did you decide real estate was the thing I wanted to go into?
So I had a couple desk jobs. Not a desk job kind of guy. It just doesn't work for me. Before that, I bartended for 12 years.
Okay.
I actually bartended 2.5 years into my real estate career, just to kind of make ends meet. Because it's a struggle when we first get started.
Yeah.
So I bartended for 12 years. I did collections for the Department of Education. So anybody that was defaulted on student loans between 2010 and 12, I might have called you, or your cousin or aunt or uncle.
Someone
called someone trying to get your number. And then I worked at a bank in Cincinnati, and it's just miserable there. Not necessarily the bank, but it was sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day isn't for me.
Right.
I like to be up and out there and in front of people, and you can't do that on the phone at a bank.
Why real estate?
I've always been interested in it. I sat down. My neighbor growing up was the COO of the company that I started with. So I sat down with her probably 4 or 5 times before I even thought about taking classes.
Sure.
But it was something I was interested in. I've always been very good with people, talking to people, just being myself around people. So I think that connection, and she saw that and she said, you will be amazing at real estate. So I took the plunge. I quit my job at the bank. I started taking real estate classes. I did it 4 days a week, 9 hours a day in a classroom for 3 weeks, took the Crammer course, took the test, and the whole process took a month and a half between starting classes and being licensed.
Love that. You mentioned today, so with branding, you said you got to start with your why. And one of the things that you mentioned was that my why was because I wanted to take that person from the situation that they're in and get them out of that situation, right? My opinion, everything that I do, there's two whys. There's your business why and being able to help, but there's a why because there's a chip on my shoulder. What was that why that was the chip on your shoulder?
I would say there were just a lot of people that didn't think that I would make it through in real estate. And I've sold some of them houses. But it's really, I had a great support system with most of my friends and all of my family. But there were people that were just like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, this just doesn't feel like you.
Right.
Like, it completely is me.
Right.
Maybe you don't know me as well as you thought you did. So I think that might be part of it, but I think my main why is the ability to day in and day out help people move into a house, fulfill their dream, whether it's their last house that they're going to buy, whether it's the house that they're buying because they're starting a family, whatever it is, whatever their situation. My client that filed bankruptcy 8 years before we got our house, she never thought she'd own a house.
Right.
She's the most grateful person that I've ever sold a house to, and I love her to death. And just helping people like that, I think I've always I viewed collections as helping people because there was a path out of the collection system for them. So whereas, your collections, there's no way you're helping people. I looked at it as I have a way to get you out of the situation that you're in and then get you back on track to where you need to be. So I think I have always had that sense of wanting to help people. Bartending, the same thing.
Yeah. Fix
12 years. I'm a doctor. So I'm a doctor in psychiatry by now. But
during this event and then over the last couple of days, I had to prepare because I knew I would want to sit down with you, and I came across your Google reviews. One, most people refer to you as Andy. It seems like that's one. So it's okay if I refer to you as Andy. Okay, absolutely. So Andy, when you are dealing with your clients, what is it that you want them to know most about you?
Mostly that they can just be themselves around me, and that I'll be myself around them. I'll be completely honest and open with them. I'm not hiding anything. I also want them to know I'm not paying their mortgage, so I'm not going to be able to decide if this is the house for them. That's not my decision to make. If you question whether this is the house for you or not, it might not be the house for you. But you need to make that decision. I can't make that for you. But I always encourage people, just be yourself in front of me. I'll be myself in front of you. We'll get along great. If there's ever anything that I'm doing that you don't like, let me know. I'll try to fix it. If I can't fix it, part ways.
What was young Andy like?
A little crazy. There's a TikTok video out there that it's actually recent, but I was a good time. I always had different groups. So at the lunch table, there was never one table I sat at. I sat out with one day with theater, one day with football players, one day with the soccer team, one day with the volleyball team, one day with the chess club. Like, it didn't matter. I didn't care. I wanted to just be friends with everybody. And that's probably was a downfall as well in high school was I wanted to be friends with everybody. And I went to 5 or 6, 7 schools, proms or homecomings.
Did you go to college?
I did for a little bit at the community college in Cincinnati because I wouldn't have made it at a large university. I would have just been socializing. That was that's how I've always been. I've just been a very social person. So, it was a good time. Avoided trouble.
That's it.
Luckily.
There's a couple of things that stuck out to me. So, buy your don't name your brand is what you said today. Buying your domain. And then knowing the specific dates in the calendar. So we went through January through December, and we got you got New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, Black History Month. All this went down the line. When was that something that clicked in your mind to make that we're like, damn, I'm going to do this?
2021.
Why?
I always had the ideas ahead of time. When my mom got her license in 2020, that's when we really started to look at my budget, my financing, and like, where am I spending money? And I was spending money in places, but my business wasn't coming from those places.
Right.
So we really narrowed everything down and then put that together. And what she does for me, she was a project manager for 30 years. So what she'll do is she'll put a spreadsheet together, sequences. So it's all these items that need to happen in this order in order for this to be accomplished.
Right.
So having that, and I also mentioned, like, find somebody to work with you that does the things that you don't like to do.
Yeah.
I don't love to plan out things. I just like to give you the idea. You tell me what I need to do. Let's go. So with her providing that for me, and having that expertise level, that really flipped a switch for me on the marketing side of things and making sure things go out on time. Because before I'd have it and I might do 2 or 3 of those things on that whole list because I didn't get to it. I forgot about it. Or, I thought about it while I was driving, and then by the time I got parked 5 minutes later, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I have ADHD. It's just what happens. So having that level of organization really helped me push that forward.
I love that. I think one thing I learned when I was I didn't learn until I was 34. I turned 35 in 2 months. But what resonated with me is one of my middle school teachers said, organization is the key to success. And something that's so. Andy, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you very much for flying down and doing this with us. I'm looking forward to staying connected and learning from you. I'm sure, I'm following you on all your pages now, so I'll be able to see everything that you do. Anything that you want people to know about Andy Hersey before we wrap up here?
If you see me at a convention, come say hi. Don't be shy.
He's going to be wearing a shiny jacket.
Either my MTV shiny jacket or my red and gold. If anybody ever sees me, I've had people like that I've sat down and talked with, they're like, we just were intimidated. Yeah. Because I'm very out there. Very expressive. So don't hesitate to come say hi. Yeah. Follow me on social media. Message me. Yeah. If you have questions, especially real estate related, or you want to grow your business or anything like that, I feel like we need to be more open to sharing those things. Yeah, so I'm very open to sharing ideas and thoughts.
Very good. I appreciate it. Andy, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming today. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens after today, after we wrap up here. So listen, guys, we are wrapping up here from the Lighthouse in New London, Connecticut, the REBAR event, the YPN Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a fun event. We had here Andrew Hersey, who just wrapped up. Before Andrew, we had Kelly and Kim Tondreau. We also had here Dave Mansulla, Carol Balbuena, Amanda Polansky, and we opened up with Alexa Kebalo. So it's been super fun. Thank you very much for joining us. We're wrapping up here one more time for the realtors, the affiliate members. Join an association that is in your network. You got the Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors. You got the Central Connecticut Association of Realtors. You got the Women Council of Realtors. Look into it. If you're a professional that's looking to grow your business, this is the way to do it. I am very thankful to be a part of it, to help my business, having the opportunity to do this in front of, the 3,000 people on my Facebook and also the 70 people that were here today. It's been super fun. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.